During the 2000 campaign, you were on the program, and we were talking about the Persian Gulf War and looking back, and I asked whether you had any regrets about taking Saddam out at that time. And you said no, and then you added this, and I want to talk about it. Let's watch.
Conversations I had with leaders in the region afterwards, they all supported the decision that was made not to go to Baghdad. They were concerned that we not get into a position where we shifted, instead of being the leader of an international coalition, to roll back Iraqi aggression to one in which we were an imperialist power, willy-nilly moving into capitals in that part of the world, taking down governments.
Imperialist power, moving willy-nilly, taking down governments. Is that how we're going to be perceived this time?
Well, I hope not, Tim. And of course, in '91, there was a general consensus that we'd gone as far as we should, that we'd achieved our objectives when we liberated Kuwait.
If your analysis is not correct, and we're not treated as liberators but as conquerors, and the Iraqis begin to resist, particularly in Baghdad, do you think the American people are prepared for a long, costly, and bloody battle with significant American casualties?
Well, I don't think it's likely to unfold that way, Tim, because I really do believe we will be greeted as liberators.
Why not just keep the pressure on, keep the troops there, keep the threat going, and continue to let the inspectors destroy weapons?
Because we know you can't keep the troops there forever. And right now, without a strategic decision on the part of Saddam Hussein to comply, I'm as sure as of anything I've ever been sure of, if the pressure comes off, he will go back to his old pattern of behavior.
Have you effectively given up trying to get 9 affirmative votes among the 15 members of the Security Council?
I don't want to rule out any option that might be available to us right now, because this is what the leaders are discussing in the Azores this afternoon.
So is it still possible there might yet be another UN Security Council vote?
It is the option, one of the options that is available.
We've had a really good discussion. We concluded that tomorrow is a moment of truth for the world. Many nations have voiced a commitment to peace and security, and now they must demonstrate that commitment to peace and security in the only effective way, by supporting the immediate and unconditional disarmament of Saddam Hussein.
From the perspective of the security of the world, we cannot simply go back to the Security Council for this discussion to be superseded by that discussion, to be superseded by another discussion.
When you say tomorrow is the moment of truth, does that mean tomorrow is the last day that the resolution can be voted up or down, and at the end of the day tomorrow, one way or another, the diplomatic window has closed?
That's what I'm saying.
Thank you, sir.
Earlier today, Britain and the U.S. gave up their bid to win new authorization for action against Iraq rather than face defeat from the UN Security Council. We now take you live to the White House for the President's address.
My fellow citizens, events in Iraq have now reached the final days of decision. The United Nations Security Council has not lived up to its responsibilities, so we will rise to ours. In recent days, some governments in the Middle East have been doing their part. They have delivered public and private messages urging the dictator to leave Iraq so that disarmament can proceed peacefully. He has thus far refused. All the decades of deceit and cruelty have now reached an end. Saddam Hussein and his sons must leave Iraq within 48 hours. Their refusal to do so will result in military conflict, commenced at a time of our choosing. For their own safety, all foreign nationals, including journalists and inspectors, should leave Iraq immediately. My fellow citizens, at this hour, American and coalition forces are in the early stages of military operations to disarm Iraq, to free its people, and to defend the world from grave danger. On my orders, coalition forces have begun striking selected targets of military importance to undermine Saddam Hussein's ability to wage war. These are opening stages of what will be a broad and concerted campaign.